Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of City Lights on Novus TV. I'm your host, Zara Durrani. I'm incredibly excited to bring a talented Vancouverite who is behind creating some of the most iconic transformations in televisions on shows such as Shogun, Altered Carbon, The Last of Us, Pachinko. I'm talking about none other than Rebecca Lee. Her career spans over 25 plus shows and her work has taken her around the world, North America, Europe, and Asia. We can't wait to speak to Rebecca. Let's go dive in and see what inspires her. Hi everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of City Lights on Novus TV. Today we are so excited to bring a very amazing story of a local talented artist who's won her second Emmy Award. It is no small feat to win an Emmy for the show Shogun. I had the opportunity to work with her on a project recently and we got to talking. I saw her all over the news and I knew I had to sit down with her and so we can share her story with you. She has done makeup on some of your favorite shows like Pachinko, X-Men, Life of Pi, Altered Carbon, which I binge watched all in one night in Bali. I'm talking about none other than Rebecca Lee. Rebecca, welcome.
Thank you so much. That's a really nice intro. Thank you.
Life of Pi, Altered Carbon, like these are Pachinko, these are some big names. I want to sort of back up a little bit. When did you know that you wanted to get into makeup and this was your calling?
Well, interestingly, I didn't know right away. I studied theater at the University of British Columbia. I was an acting student. But when you're in the theater, you learn how to do your own makeup as an actor. And I found myself more drawn to that class. And so any of the plays that I was in acting, I would have the most makeup on. I would have my brows blacked out, a missing tooth, a wound on my body, something like I always had to have a lot of makeup. So that's when I started to know that that was something I was interested in. And I apprenticed there at the University of British Columbia with Jill Wyness, and she mentored me, and I started to move towards working behind the scenes.
That's amazing. So you were using makeup to help transform you as a character, but really getting more into using makeup to help bring the character out. So I think that must be something very unique about you, the fact that you also understand what it's like for the performer and then helping shape their performance through your work. Now, some of the names, some of these shows that we talked about, they're big names. And that must be a lot of pressure to work, Shogun, Pachinko, Altered Carbon, Life of Pi, like these big shows. Do you feel the pressure when you get the call? Hi, you're gonna travel to Korea for this show. No big deal. Walk us through the process of once you get the call to work on a job, how do you feel?
Right. Well, the first thing is that it didn't start like that. I've been doing this for quite a while. And the projects that I started on were obviously much smaller, so it's built slowly. But to be honest, every time that call comes in, whether it's a small Canadian independent film or a big Hollywood blockbuster, there's a little bit of the same feeling, like, oh wow, what am I taking on? Can I do this? What are the challenges going to be? Am I up to it? And sometimes I still feel that today, even with awards and all of that, It's like still a big deal to be asked, and there is some pressure for sure. What are the actors going to be like? Am I going to work well with them? That all those things do come up.
That's amazing. As these beautiful, glorious awards are sitting there. Talk to us about Shogun, because it was, from what I hear, 10 months of filming in Vancouver. I didn't realize it was being filmed here, because when you watch the show, every episode is like a feature film.
Yeah.
I feel the pacing from the cinematography, the costumes, hair, makeup, it is phenomenal, and it just really makes sense why it is being recognized, 18 Emmy Awards. So for our audience, for fans of the show, can you tell us about the journey of creating these looks? And I hear a lot of effort went into creating these very traditional looks because we are not in the current time. This is a historical show.
For Shogun, for me, it was actually over a year that I worked on the project because we did over 3 months of preparation. There was a lot of time and effort put into the prep to make sure that we were ready once we started to film. And I think one of the biggest reasons we were so successful is we had a team of Japanese artists who came over from Japan, stayed with us for the full year, and worked with us because they work in these traditional looks all the time. They do a lot more of these types of movies and work in the Sengoku period, which is the time period that Shogun was set in. And so we were very fortunate to have them come and to teach us specifically how to do all the bald heads. Because if you watch Shogun, you know how everyone had the nakazori, the shaved head on top with the hair on the sides, and then the mage at the back. So when we started, hairdresser Sana Sapna and I really weren't sure exactly how we were going to do that. A traditional bald cap takes a very long time, and to process hundreds of these actors a day.
Hundreds?
Sometimes, yeah, we would do hundreds of background samurai. We had to find a way to do it really quickly, but still have it look amazing. So the Japanese technicians taught us the habutai, which is a piece of silk that is tied around the back. The wig goes over top and covers the straps at the back, and then there's a beautiful blend off of the seam. And so marrying the Japanese technique with some of our modern day techniques that we use for camera all the time, we were able to do a habutai in about 40 minutes. So that really saved us. And that was how we were able to do so many actors so quickly.
It's just so great to sit down with you and to dive deep and hear more of your story of how are these looks created and all the effort that goes into creating these looks. So what advice would you give to someone starting out and how you work with perhaps new makeup artists, mentoring them and supporting their journey in film and television?
A friend said to me, these awards aren't just for specific shows, they are for all of the work. All of the times you did makeup out of the back of your car for an independent film. The times you did small Canadian features, the times you did someone's Halloween makeup. You've always put a lot of effort into all those things. And I thought about that and I thought, yeah, it's really true. It's been a long time. And I think the best piece of advice that I could give is really to take every opportunity that you can. Every opportunity to do someone's makeup, whether it's to get a friend ready for a wedding, to do a Halloween makeup, do the makeup. Practice as much as you can. To work in film and television these days, you do need to have some schooling, so that does become a requirement, and there are some amazing schools here in Vancouver. So that is, important to get some of that training. Once you have that, take every opportunity that you can. If you get asked to work on a commercial, maybe it's not a lot of money, maybe there's just money to cover your kit, use that opportunity to get better and to work at your craft. I think that's really important. And that's certainly what I tell some of the younger people that I mentor. And I try to help them with opportunities like that. So if I get asked to do something that I can't complete, I would ask one of the people I'm mentoring whether or not they can help me or take on the project themselves. And just do as much makeup as you can.
Tell me about the moment when your name was announced.
I didn't really think there was a great chance. I mean, I knew just to be nominated and to be included in the names that were also nominated was huge in itself. But this is a big American award, and I wasn't sure that it would go to a group of Canadians. you know? So I wasn't really sure. But because we were nominated, I knew there was a chance, and I did prepare a few notes. Wasn't prepared enough, you never are. And then we get told that you only have 30 seconds. So that is not a lot of time.
And, what do you say in 30 seconds? You're just like shocked that the room is full of all these beautiful, glamorous people. What do you say in 30 seconds?
It was, and also the emotions and the mind is racing. And the first feeling when they announced, it wasn't my name they announced the team from Shogun is what they said. And my head fell forward. I was just shocked. And Crystal beside me had to sort of, come on, we have to go up there. And so we did, and then it started to hit me, and we ran up to the stage, and it was just so happy. I was so thrilled. And then you have 30 seconds. And I was actually really proud because the audience laughed a couple of times, and I think that's the most you can do in 30 seconds. And I thanked everyone that I could in that amount of time. And then it was off backstage. It went really, really quickly in a blur. And then backstage for more photographs and some press, and just some interviews with different people backstage.
Well, we are so excited for you, so proud of you, and I can't wait to see. And I'm so happy to know you're here, based in Vancouver, representing Vancouver, representing Canada around the world with the great work you and your team are doing. Thank you so much for joining us today, Rebecca.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This is great.
You've been working with Rebecca for over a decade now. Tell me your journey and growth as a makeup artist, from when you first started working with Rebecca, assisting her, to now, and how you've seen yourself grow, and some of the highlights perhaps over the years.
It's been an absolute dream. It's so incredible, and Rebecca is so generous with all the knowledge she knows and how well thought of she is in the industry. She's also a very generous, nice person, so it's been incredible. And I started working with Rebecca pretty close to the beginning of my career. So every day, even today, I learn so much working with her, and different situations will arise and she'll just handle things so gracefully. And it definitely keeps in my mind of how I would like to be going forward, and how I want to represent her and the team going forward in that same kind of feeling.
That was truly an insightful conversation with Rebecca Lee from Shogun. What an inspiring story, from starting out in the theater department at UBC to now winning multiple Emmy Awards and mentoring the future generation of makeup artists here in Vancouver. We can't wait to see what Rebecca creates next. Until next time, I'm your host, Zara Durrani, and I'll catch you on City Lights on Novus TV.